What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box we have the all-new for 2025 Aston Martin DB9. Now this is the 2005 Aston Martin DB9, which debuts in the Silver Series as part of the Fast and Furious Villains lineup. So that's pretty cool to get a new casting in the Silver Series. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at this one and see if it is worth the $3.50 price tag. So as always, let's get things started by looking at our casting here. Proportionally speaking, very happy to report that it looks very good. And it also is going to fit in very nicely with some of the older Aston Martin castings like the DBS and the V8 Vantage. It's going to kind of scale nicely with those. I don't have them in the size comparisons, so that's why I'm kind of telling you now. There it is with the real life car, as you can see. Looking very, very nice and very sporty. Let's go ahead and break the casting down now. So pretty much all you're going to see here with the main paint is going to be metal. So that is pretty solid. And then the base is going to be plastic, which means that this casting is probably going to go mainline before it ever goes premium. So that could be good, but it could also be bad, and we'll kind of explain that here in a bit. But anyway, the exhaust and diffuser sections are going to be brought up here into the kind of main body where you can see them. Also a piece of the base, so they're plastic. We do get the mirrors on this casting, which do look very good, actually. Not quite as clumpy as they typically do. All your body lines and like little vents and stuff are going to be casted in and detailed, which look really, really good. Up front here, this main grille here, this is actually a part of the main body. It is texturized and everything, but it is casted in, which means if the casting does get mainline treatment, there's a good chance that that won't get a tampo with everything else as well. So definitely something to think about. But this is a cutout, and then these two right here are also actually a part of the main body. So some interesting ways that they went about doing it, but I think it looks good, especially in the Silver Series. For the paint and deco, so we've just got this nice kind of matte metal flake gray going on. Now, I'm not a big Fast and Furious movie guy, so I can't tell you how close this is to the actual movie car. But I would assume that that's, you know, close to it, at least somewhat inspired by. Because this is not exactly the best color. I don't think anyone would have picked a matte metal flake for the first color choice of this car. But, you know, the Fast and Furious license is bringing us this casting, so maybe, just maybe, we'll get some better versions of it down the line. And then let's bring it into the details here. So up front, we do get both headlights. They are tampoed on. So, you know, if we get main lines down the road, who's to say what we'll get from everything here. Anyway, though, there is an Aston Martin logo as well. Again, the grille tampoed on, the main grille, I should say, tampoed on. And then these two little extra ones down here are tampos as well. You get little reflectors on both sides, which look good. And then you get this little, like, grille vents here, get a little tampo work. So overall, very, very nice, full detailing, basically. Coming down to the sides here, we get these wheels here. I forget what these ones are called, but I think they look good. They were a solid choice. Yeah, especially with the chrome, really like that. You get this kind of side vent thing detailed on and getting some tampo work, so that looks good. Nothing more really to speak of until we get to the back here, which we do get our two taillights, which look very nice. And then that's pretty much it other than the little extra like reflector things. So yeah. Now, my two taillights here don't sit perfectly even. Like this one sits a little closer to the edge than this one does. So that's a little bit annoying. I wish I had seen that in store, but it is what it is. Moving into the roll test, it's Silver Series, but it's still Hot Wheels, so you know it's going to roll, and it's going to roll very, very smoothly, obviously. When you put this one on the scale, it comes out to be 33.82 grams, so it's a little bit heavier than a typical mainline. And being Silver Series, it has the plastic base instead of the metal base, so, you know, with that plastic base, it's a decent weight for it. Pros and cons, getting started with our pros. This is definitely going to be the cheapest way to add an Aston Martin DB9 to your collection, especially if it goes mainline down the road. But as of right now, it's actually the only 1/64th DB9 that I can think of off the top of my head. Like maybe Kyosho or Tomica has done one before that I just don't know about. But it's definitely the newest and easiest way to get one, that's for sure. And at $350 or so, you know, can't really complain about that price. And then the second big pro is going to be the full detailing. You know, you even get the side ones down here, which I feel are a huge plus. Definitely something you probably won't get if the casting goes mainline. So yeah, overall, pretty solid. Now, when it comes to cons, there's really nothing major I need to talk about, but mine does have a few QC issues that just keep an eye out when you're buying this one at the store. Like I mentioned earlier, my two taillights are not perfectly symmetrical, which is only mildly annoying. And then I do have some sort of like silver flake right here on the back. I have tried to pick this off with everything I've got. Like I even tried to get an X-Acto knife on that to pick that off, and it just doesn't come off. So not sure what it is exactly, but yeah. Just a few little things that if you don't like those kind of QC issue kind of deals, to keep an eye out for when you're in the store making your purchase. For some quick size comparisons, here we have it with some other Mattel Aston Martins, with the Aston Martin DBS Volante from Matchbox over there on the left, and the Hot Wheels Aston Martin V12 Speedster over here on the right. And here we have it with some premium Aston Martin castings, with the Tarmac Works Aston Martin DBS Superleggera over there on the left, and the Pop Race Aston Martin Vantage GT3 over here on the right. Alright, so let's find some overall scores here. The hype level. Now, I would have thought the hype level would be pretty high. My own personal hype level was decently high, but this one has been a peg warmer, so I can only give it an 8.5 there. Execution, I'm going to give it a 9.4. There are a few things I personally would have done differently, and then, you know, a few QC issues as well. 9.4 seems like a fair score to me. Feedback, I'm going to give it a 9.75. I feel like most people have been enjoying it. There's been a few QC issues that are a little worse than what I've got that I've seen. But on the majority of the spectrum, it seems to be positive feedback there. So when we take these three scores and we average them out, we end up with an overall score of 9.22 out of 10. I think that's a pretty good score for what is honestly a pretty good release. Casting itself done pretty well. Just the Fast and Furious kind of deco may be holding it back just a touch. Full details is really, really good. Thoroughly and enjoy that. It could have been done just a little bit better though. Silver Series does fit this casting well, and I wouldn't mind it staying in Silver Series with other releases down the road, but I also wouldn't mind seeing it come to the mainline either, especially if we can get like the headlights and the grille done. And yeah, maybe, I don't know, just we'll see where it happens with it, I guess. It has been a bit of a peg warmer, so it is going to be very easy for you to find. Anywhere that sells the Silver Series lineup, you'll probably still be able to find this one. And at the $3.50 price tag, just do a quick check to make sure all the tampos and everything is good and to your liking, and I would say it's absolutely worth picking up for sure. But if this deco just doesn't really do it for you, just wait and see what the casting does in the future. And with that, guys, that will conclude this video. That is all I have for you. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and don't forget to leave a comment telling me your thoughts are on this particular model, and I will see you guys in the next video.